Hey guys, what's up? Jesse here, and I'm going to show you exactly how to generate 20 plus warm leads per month on LinkedIn using ChatGPT. Welcome to this free masterclass. So why do you want to pay attention to this masterclass? Well, I'm going to show you the following. How to get the foundations of LinkedIn right. How to create content that gets you warm leads, and how to start conversations and turn attention into interest. So please pay attention. Why would you listen to me? Well, I'm a top 50 creator worldwide in the marketing and sales category. I recently got named as a top voice in content marketing. Over the last few years, we generated over $1.2 million in client revenue on LinkedIn. Over the last few years, I also built a LinkedIn audience of 40,000 followers, and till date, we're trusted by a few 7 to 8 figure clients for their personal brand growth. Some of the clients we helped, you can see Josh, he generated 94 engaged leads and secured 4 meetings just with one post. Nice detail here is that it saved his business over $10,000 in ad spend. Michael here, he landed a 7-figure client for a software agency in 12 weeks. Our friend Nicholas here, he added $32,000 in new revenue in 8 weeks selling his new growth program. Josh also, he used his system and closed 2 4-figure deals in the first 6 weeks. And Tobias here, he not only secured $50,000 in new contracts, but he also maxed out his pipeline. So very cool stuff. And here's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to help you make LinkedIn work for you. And it all starts with your LinkedIn profile, because your LinkedIn profile, it should get you leads. And that comes down to having a powerful banner, having a scroll-stopping headline, a trust-building services page, and of course like a no-brainer feature section. So let's unpack them one by one. The banner here, it's short. It's like you want to make sure it's very clear what you help your clients with. You see the example that we're currently running. You want to be clear and concise, like clearly state what you help your clients achieve with. Highlight some of the key benefits. So in our case, it's very specific, 20 plus warm leads per month. You want to tap into some emotions. You want to focus on pain points your audience faces and how you solve them. Of course, you want to use your brand colors. So I don't know if you know, but some people even call me like the purple guy or the purple coach on LinkedIn. Not that I do coaching anymore, but still the brand color definitely sticks out. So you definitely want to incorporate your brand colors for consistency and more recognition. And yes, you do want to have a call to action in the banner. So you want to really make it easy for the visitor to know what to do next. In our case, it's DM the keyword AI to get more details. So that's the banner. Secondly, the headline. And here you want to address your audience's pain point and the core desire. You really want to make sure that your audience knows exactly what the problem you solve and the outcome of your service. In the beginning of the headline, you want to use keywords, because you're going to think, okay, what does my target audience would search LinkedIn for? Like what kind of services or solutions are they looking for? You want to be specific. Like one of the rules in marketing is that you want to opt for clear and not for clever. You want to highlight your either unique or your normal approach, like what makes you different from others. You want to focus on benefits. Also something that they say in marketing is that you want to focus on benefits instead of features. And last but not least, this is a very important one. Make sure your headline is optimized for mobile. So you want to say the most important part in the first 60 characters. So if I would go to mobile and I would check my headline, it will be cut off here. So it's intriguing enough for people that want to have 20 plus warm leads on LinkedIn for the high ticket offer to know what system or what practice I'm using here, right? So you really want to use your headline to get people from unknown to onto your profile. So that's where the headline comes into play. Second, the services section. This is a very, very underutilized part of LinkedIn. So be smart and build it out. Because in this section, it's located just above your featured section, which I will go over in a second. But in this section, you really want to highlight client case studies and testimonials to build authority. Because most likely you're a service provider and you're selling a high ticket offer and you work with clients, right? So you want to show prospective clients and leads what results you got so far and how you've helped those people. Also, you can include a little bit of copy, so you want to highlight specific achievements and results, and again, include a clear call to action. So as you can see here, I just share a little bit of story, the results we got in, and if you're a business owner with a high ticket offer, then this program is for you. Send me the DM AI. You see, there is very much congruence between the call to action across my profile. And then the about section here, and this is the most personal part of your profile because it really gives you the opportunity to share a story, let's say. But the key here is to not make it just about yourself, because you want to address the dream outcome of your audience, which in our case is like business opportunities on LinkedIn. You want to quickly introduce your value proposition and your solution. You want to describe your process and system. And of course, you want to include a clear call to action. As you can see here, 2 ways to get the details: DM me AI or watch another training as we did. So this is how you structure your about section. So again, don't make it all about you. The featured section then, this is a known part of the LinkedIn profile. And one of the common mistakes that we see people make is that they add content pieces there, which they're proud of, or they just don't know what else to do. We would say that you want to list out 1 or 2 next steps you want your audience to take. So in our specific situation, it's a different training that we run, also on generating 20 plus warm leads per month for your high ticket offer. And it has a very prominent place on the profile, right? And you see with the thumbnail here, it really stands out. So what does it do? This builds authority because you showcase, again, prospective clients what you help them with, highlight your core service and results, or you can choose to educate and give value. So some people, they have a lead magnet there or a different training, right? So you really want to utilize this section on your profile. Now, there are 3 things very important for you to know. And most likely, these things are keeping you from success on LinkedIn. And the first one here is that inbound is just 10% of the pie. Like only make up for 10% of the potential leads. So solely relying on inbound means you're missing out on so many opportunities on LinkedIn. So here's how you want to tackle this. You consistently want to do warm outreach. You want to show, you want to engage with those who show interest. And I'll go over this in a moment, how this looks like, because this proactive approach definitely helps convert warm prospects into leads. So what do you want to do here? You want to identify triggers for outreach, so new followers, profile visitors, etc. Again, I'll go over this in the detail in a moment. You want to qualify prospects based on your ideal client profile, so what's the target audience you're looking for? And of course, you want to send personalized messages that add value and initiate conversation. Because you don't want to be waiting for leads, right? And be waiting for leads, those days are over. So that's why you want to have a very proactive strategy, which I'm going to show you in a second. Paradigm shift number 2. Yes, likes are leads, but there is some work involved. Because every like here, every like on your post, it's a potential lead. Because this person, they show interest and it can be a starting point for outreach. So here's how you can tackle this. You want to engage with likers proactively. So reach out to the people that like your comment, start a conversation to explore their needs and how you can help. Of course, you want to make sure it's personalized. So you want to mention their interaction with your post, also showing that you value their engagement and that you're attentive to their interest. And last but not least, you want to make sure that you follow up consistently because everyone is busy, right? So if they don't, let's say, reply to a message or perhaps you get ghosted, make sure you track and you follow up with people who engage with your content because you build relationships and potentially you can drive conversions. Because here's what we can say. We got 9 types of leads. The first one is a like, a comment, a profile view, new follower, connection request, email opt-in, filled-in contact form, inbound DM, and booked calls. I'm sure these are not new for you. But here's the catch. Based on their action, so let's say a like or a profile view, there's a different level of intent. On average, we can say that the people who sent you an inbound DM, for example, are higher intent than people that just like your post or comment on your post. So this is very good to keep in mind because yes, they're all likes, just the intent of the lead, all likes and comments are leads. It's just that the intent is very much different. So if you want to prioritize things, you should start, of course, with people that book calls, have DMs, fill out contact forms in order to follow up with them effectively. But like I said before, you don't want to miss out on other opportunities. So if you only wait for inbound DMs to happen, you can see how many of these leads you're actively missing out on. And last but not least, here with the paradigm shift, is you want to focus on quality over quantity, because leads don't necessarily mean qualified leads, but you want to focus on the latter. And here's how you can tackle this. You do want to avoid generic posts. For example, for our business, like a generic post about LinkedIn profile optimization may attract a lot of views and likes, but it will not necessarily lead to qualified leads. Specificity definitely wins, because a post tailored to solving a specific problem for a niche audience will result in fewer engagement and fewer impressions, but higher quality leads. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to get higher quality leads for the business than just having a few likes here and there for people that are never gonna buy from us, right? And here you can see the difference. You have a post on the left side. Like I said, it's a carousel about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Quite some good engagement, like around 150 likes, 72 comments, 8 reposts, 11,400 impressions. Pretty good. On this side, we have a post that barely scratched the surface. 1,000 impressions, 21 comments, 35 likes. Yet, this post got 2 leads. One of them was qualified, and that one closed and led to $1,900 cash collected on that post that looks from the surface bad, right? So again, look for the right metrics here. That's very important. Now, if you want to have leads on LinkedIn, hear me out. This is what you need to do every single day. So you want to publish a post because consistency in posting builds your brand and keeps you top of mind with your audience. You want to do 30 minutes of outreach every day. I'm going to show you exactly what you can send in a moment, so bear with me, because you want to have proactive outreach to help you connect with new prospects and expand your network, and thus drive conversions down the line. And of course, you want to follow up and manage DMs. Like, just sending one message doesn't really win the war. So you want to make sure that you manage your inbox to keep communication streamlined, and making sure that you show prospective clients you're engaged and professional. So you might ask me, hey Jesse, why every day? Well, the biggest thing, consistency. Like, a brand and a lead generating machine on LinkedIn is not built overnight. You definitely need to have daily actions because they compound over time, leading to steady growth and results. Visibility. The more you post and do outreach, the more it keeps you top of mind, of course. And engagement. It's like I said before, quick follow-ups, they definitely show your commitment because you're literally you're up to date, you're engaged with the prospects, which definitely builds trust and with potential clients. So now comes something very interesting. Yes, you know that you need to create content, but how to do this? So let's dive into that. First, let's dive into understanding content. We can look at the customer journey, but to make it simpler, we can just look at these 3 types of content. So we got top of funnel content, we got middle of funnel content, and we got bottom of funnel content, and they all serve a purpose. For example, top of funnel content, it's the awareness stage. So you want to attract and educate potential clients. Middle of funnel content, it's where people are in the consideration stage. So they're considering whether or not your service might be good. So what you want to do here is you want to nurture leads and build relationships. And the bottom of funnel content is where people are almost or about to make a decision. So here's where you want to convert leads into customers and clients. And that's where the content usually is separated between. So let me show you a few examples to really bring this point home. Examples of top of funnel content. So one of the posts that we often see on LinkedIn, it's a how-to post. So it's often a shorter post where the author educates his or her audience on a specific topic. The carousel, one of our favorites, is just because it's a very great way to have a lot of information in a post and really be educating your audience on a specific topic. Here, our good friend Jasmine Alic has a 1-minute commenting course from LinkedIn. Super, super good. And one of the things that we see more and more on LinkedIn are cheat sheets. So as you can see here, it's not nicely designed with brand colors. And it just, again, it's a great way to give your audience more information within a specific post. Plus, posts like this and the carousel, they take up more real estate on the feed. So you're taking more space, which again is a great way of advertising and promoting yourself, right? So examples of middle of funnel content, we can look at the case study. So for example, now Radcliffe here, he did a great job of getting their clients results. And as a result of that, they can dedicate a post to it, right? Great way to have people that are considering your service move a little bit closer. One of our favorites too is our process breakdowns. These usually tend to do very good on LinkedIn because people are interested in how to do a certain thing. As you can see here in the example, it's a breakdown of a post that got us 25 leads. And it's just a very in detail or in-depth carousel how to craft a post that got a result like this. And on the right side, it's industry trends. So it's more of like a thought leadership kind of piece. And then last but not least here in terms of bottom of funnel content, we can look at client results, very much aligned with case studies, where we just highlight the results of a post, do it in a very educational way that the reader can get some value out of it, but also that prospective clients that are on the list, that are about to make a decision, have enough motivation to send a message or to book a call, for example, right? And then the other side is a hand raiser. I'm sure you've seen this on LinkedIn by now. It's often a storytelling post where we tap into like the pain points. As you can see here, starting out on LinkedIn, because there is business there. You start a few times posting, get a few likes, but then nothing happens. And then towards the end of the post, you see some case studies, some social proof. And then here is like, hey, we put a program together to help you get LinkedIn to work, to generate 20 plus high quality leads per month in just under 60 days. Send me a message. You see, a very direct sales post. And that's something that you not want to do on LinkedIn all the time, because you don't want to sell all the time. But for the right people, this post can definitely move them across. So now, something that I really want to highlight is the hook. Because the hook of a post on LinkedIn, it's insane how much of an impact this makes. Like a good hook versus a bad hook. So let me go over those details. Because you only got one shot. And your goal with writing on LinkedIn, of course, is to capture the attention almost, if not immediately. You have just a second to grab someone's attention. And a compelling hook ensures your post stands out on a crowded feed. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of content on the feed these days, right? So you want to make sure users stop and read instead of scrolling past. You want to make sure you set the tone for your content, because a strong hook sets expectations clear and it piques interest. Because there is a reason that this button here is highlighted. Your hook, the only goal of your hook is to the two goals of the hook is to make people stop scrolling and to click to see more. Because you can have the best post under it, but if no one clicks to see more, no one gets to see it and the post will just go into the void. And of course, a great hook can significantly enhance the effectiveness of the post in terms of like more reach, more engagement, more people on the post, and thus leading to more leads and conversions. Some of the hook best practices here is that you want to be specific. So instead of saying, hey, how to grow your brand, you can say something like, hey, how to be a key person of influence, even if you have 0 followers, right? You want to have specificity because that makes your content more relatable. You will always want to make sure you use numbers and quantifiable data. So 5 ways to a content strategy fails, you can say, or you can be more specific. 5 plagues of a content strategy for career coaches and the best alternative. So for career coaches, this is a very intriguing hook. You want to leverage curiosity, right? So instead of saying a few tips for B2B SaaS sales executives, you want to say something like 5 sales tips for SaaS sellers who have overwhelming sales quotas. This will build your pipeline, because this definitely ties into their dream outcome. Because if you're a B2B SaaS sales executive, you want to build a bigger pipeline. And of course, you want to highlight emotional or personal stories. So instead of saying the sales guide, 5 pieces of good sales advice, you can say something like, many solopreneurs, they spend 99% of their time creating content, but it doesn't unlock revenue. You see, I'm tapping into a few of the pain points, but I'm also highlighting core desire, which is unlocking new revenue. So now what I want to do, I want to go over 5 content types that you can use to grow on LinkedIn and to get leads. The first one here is a text-only post. I'm sure you've seen this on LinkedIn, right? It's just text and nothing else. Great to use when you want to share quick tips, have some announcement, or if you want to have a personal story to share. The second one is text plus image. This is the ones that I would say rule the feed these days, because again, they take up a lot of a lot of like real estate on the feed. You can use this to share achievements. You can use it for personal lessons or failures. And of course, if you're writing a personal story, it would be great to have a personal image for you, because there needs to be congruency between the picture and the post. And something that we see, of course, on LinkedIn these days is what I like to call as the selfie fatigue. Like there are quite a few people that are just using selfies on every post, which makes it very irrelevant to the post. So you want to be mindful of that. So make sure that there is like alignment or congruency between the image and the post you write. The next one is text plus video. Very great way to have your audience engaged, because the videos of course take longer to watch. And usually we see the impressions are a little bit lower on video compared to, let's say, a carousel, but the engagement rate is often pretty high. When to use? Well, when you do a tutorial, or when you have some behind the scenes content, or when you have client testimonials. Great ways to have video implemented there. Then one of the things that we see more and more on LinkedIn is text plus visual. So you can see here it's a call to action cheat sheet. Here is like more like the tweet style, and this is more like an infographic. When you want to use this type of content, well, if you want to have an infographic, so you want to have a lot of info in a graphic to share with your audience. If you have step-by-step guides, which you can see here on the left side, or if you have some key statistics that you perhaps listed out in your post, but you also want to make sure that's shown in the image. And then the last content type, of course, is carousels. So again, you see that they take up a lot of space on the feed. So a great way to just own your space, but also educate your audience. We like to use those with educational content. So on the left side, you see, okay, 3 types of content to become an authority on LinkedIn, how to do effective outreach, and how to grow your personal brand. When do you want to use this type of content? Well, you're going to use it with a detailed tutorial, with case studies, or when you have a process in your business or for your clients that you're going to share with your audience. And the results here are pretty interesting, because we see across the board that content plus design, so let's say content and visuals and content and carousels, actively outperform any other type of content. So for example, text plus image versus text plus carousel, you can see an almost 2x in impressions in exactly the same period of time. So now I want to tackle the messages you want to send to get more clients. Because content does one part of the equation, and of course the outreach, as I said before, does the other part. So how does it work? It starts with warm outreach. So this involves reaching out to people who have shown interest in your services or in your brand. So you can look at likes, comments, profile visitors, new followers, connection requests. And why does this matter? Because these people have shown some form of interest in what you do. So you really want to make sure you guide these prospects through the funnel. And the faster you engage with these warm prospects, it definitely increases the likelihood of conversations and conversions. The good news here is that every post gets you warm leads if you get likes and profile views, right? You just got to work them. So you really want to make sure that you identify the trigger. So let's say new follower, profile visit, connection request, comment or like. You want to see if the conditions are met. So do they fit your ideal client profile? Because you're not going to engage in conversation with someone that's clearly unqualified for your services, right? And you want to look if they connected with you. Based on their connection status, you can either send them a message directly or a connection request with a message. And I would say this is how this process high overlooks. So you have different triggers, 5. Then you have 2 conditions to be met, like does this person fit your ICP? And am I connected, yes or no? In that case, you can either send a message or send a connection request with a message, of course. You can't read this, but I'm going to go over in a second what type of messages you can send to these specific people. So this is roughly how you do warm outreach. So based on the triggers like new follower, profile visit, connection request, comment and like, you follow up with the right people and you reach out to them. Why? To initiate conversation and down the line to drive conversions. So what to send? Here we can distinguish 3 types: pulse check, direct value, and 50-50. So let me break them down one by one. The pulse check here is just figuring out if the person that gets to your, or like has done a certain trigger, how interested are they? So it's pretty, I would say, direct way of just gauging the interest. So you can say, hey, first name, I saw you, and here you want to talk about the initial trigger. How are you currently, yada, yada, yada. Take action to achieve the outcome. So in our case, it will be, hey, X, so you stopped by on the profile. We appreciate that. How are you currently growing your personal brand on LinkedIn? Hey Jesse, haven't seen you around, I was missing you things. So it opens up the conversation, and based on that, we have a sales conversation afterwards. So when do you want to use a pulse check? On a profile visit, on a post interaction, or if you run events on LinkedIn, you can of course do this after an event follow-up. Hey, saw you attended this event, appreciate that. How are you currently doing X, Y, and Z? You see, very simple. Next one, I like this one a lot. And this is the direct value one. So what you want to do here is you want to just reach out to people that have done a certain trigger. So let's say they came to your profile, they liked the post, or they spent a comment. And you're just going to share, you first going to introduce a little bit like, hey, this is what we do. We specialize in solving this problem for this target audience so that they can stop doing what they like. Here there is a training, or there is a resource or a document that I think would be helpful for you. And here there is a very soft bit. Like if you need any help with this, the door is open. So as you can see here in the example, it's a very open way of just like providing your help or your assistance with an asset. So when you want to use this type of outreach, well, when you have new followers, because it's a great way of welcoming them to your community and just sharing value, with connection requests as well, or when people interact with your post. And then last but not least, this is a very interesting one. It's the 50-50. And the great one with this is, I'm going to show that in a second, is that you always get an answer if you do it right. So what you want to do here is you want to highlight two of the desires your target audience wants to achieve, but you know that both answers lead to the same way. So in this example here is like, hey Haley, my eyes saw that you stopped by my profile. That's that trigger, a profile visitor. I appreciate that. Talking to the majority of these people, I learned one thing. 50% want to learn how to build an effective or efficient content system. 50% want to have a better way to convert their leads. Mind sharing which group you're part of. So yeah, even with number one and number two, I know what to lead up because I can solve both problems for the people, right? So you with a 50-50, you want to come up with two problems that you can both solve, which you know that are leading to the same destination, to the same offer. When do you want to use this? With content interactions, with profile visitors, or again, with event follow-ups. So those are the three forms of outreach. Now, if you're looking to get 20 plus warm leads per month on LinkedIn, DM me the words AI and I will send over the detail. And then we talk to you soon. Hopefully this training was very valuable for you and we stay in touch. Cheers. Bye-bye.